And now, without further ado, I have the distinguished honor and privilege of presenting to you the Queen of Color, the Mother of Artists, globally acclaimed, award-winning master acrylic artist, and the star of our show, Ginger Cook, as she once again mesmerizes her audience with the daring do's and don'ts of painting with acrylic. Ginger!
Hey, John. Hi. I want to welcome everybody tonight, all you wonderful people, to our fabulous live show. Wasn't that the word? I've got that new intro because when we went to Cuba last month, had a night. John and I got to go to Cuba, which was interesting as artists to go and see the sights. And one of the things that our guide would say is, "How are you, you beautiful people? Are you having a great time?" And I said, he's so yes and yes, and he'd punch his hand. It was just real cute. So hi, you beautiful people. And tonight we're going to be painting a snowy barn. You can see that this is an old barn. It's had better days. Now somebody asked if they could paint, like a red barn. It's your picture. You do whatever you want. I'm going to show you how to do this. How's that? Okay. This is 8x10 canvas, but you could certainly make it bigger. It'll be fun. We're going to have a good time. And I want to just say as caveat, John's feeling really terrible tonight. We're lucky to have a live show. So we're not going to do a contest tonight because he's, we're going to get through tonight and
hope for the best.
And hope for the best, you guys. So that's where we are. And we,
you might mention tomorrow in the beginning of the show what our plan is for tomorrow.
Our plan tomorrow is to invite Caitlin, my friend Caitlin, to come and show us this brand new type of acrylic paint that's specifically designed to paint on furniture. Now, for years, toll painters have been using, like toll paint, and then there's, acrylics. I would just put a regular acrylics on furniture. So I was very interested to see if there was some reason why you'd want to go out and buy more stuff. If you were going to be painting, say, a chest or something like that, decorating something. Well, we'll find out. She's going to show us. And I'm not saying I'm endorsing it, but we'll look, right? With a skeptical eye, but we'll look. It'll be fun tomorrow night. We'll learn something new. And tonight, though, let's focus a little bit on this little 8x10 canvas. Now, I started this on a dark blue underpainting, but that doesn't have to be the case. We're going to just do it a little bit differently. I'm going to show you that we're just going to draw it on. I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper and sand the canvas like that, kind of knock off some of the ridges. People say, why do you do that? Well, one reason is that this, have you ever used an emery board on your nail files and they go down pretty quick, right? The little emery board, like that. Well, that's sanding your brushes, these rough canvases. You can buy something called a portrait canvas, much more expensive, very, very smooth. Linen canvases tend to be smoother, a little bit smoother. And, but also you can just take a very, very fine grade of sandpaper and very lightly just sand it, and then you're good to go. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to talk to you about drawing this house on. This is this little barn on. We're going to do that. I'm going to find some sort of colored chalk, I think. I had some around here somewhere. I think so. Oh, it's way over here. My goodness. All right, here it is. Here's our little dish of colored chalk.
Talk to the bear. He cleaned up.
Did you? Bear. Well, Sammy. What to say? I guess we'll use... do I have a brown piece in here? Kind of gray. I don't know. Is that going to show up? Can you guys see that? Yeah,
that's pretty light.
It's pretty light. I thought, where's that? Didn't I have a box of chalk somewhere? Where's this stuff? Where's my box of chalk? It looked like a box of all the new Somebody says, what kind of chalk do you use? And I'm just going to just rummage around here like a bull in a china cabinet until I find it. I use new pastels. Here's a brown one. See? How easy was that? A little brown piece of chalk. And that way you'll be able to see it. So where'd the picture go? Oh, it's here. Okay. All right. Well, fine.
We're off to a good start.
We're off to a good start. So I'm going to kind of line this up. And let's see.
How many cookies are you classifying this one?
Well, there's a couple cookies.
A couple of cookies.
We're going to...
Not too tough.
Because you're going to have to draw it on. All right? So we're going to make a straight line like this. And how long is it? About 4 fingers like that. Okay? And then I'm going to come down here like this at an angle. And then I'm going to bring this down at an angle. This is going to be the same, okay? And then this is straight across. This line is parallel to the top and bottom of the canvas, all right? That means it's, see here, here, like that, right? So that is our A. Remember we talked about doing A's, and here's our A, okay? Now, for some reason, this barn then kind of, in the photograph, which I can't show you, some of those PMP photos, I'll put this on PMP, and you can print out the photo later if you want. But I can't physically show you the photo during the lesson. But if you go to pmp-art.gallery, give me till tomorrow, and I'll get my picture up. And if you go to Ginger Cook and in my gallery, and you'll see this picture, and then you'll be able to do it. How's that? If you absolutely need the reference. But the reference photo was really complicated, and I really got this barn down much better here than they had. So I want to come down about this far, almost touching, not quite. Another straight line across here and here. So basically what we're saying is that the roof's longer, but it's got a little gap in it. I think I'm going to shorten it up here like this. There's a gap between the top part of the roof and the bottom. And then there's just, these lines are straight up and down, and then we got snow, see? That's easy, right? And then we're going to have some snow kind of coming over this way. And then, so then what happens? This line goes here at another angle like this, and then kind of down. And then over here, just off camera over here, we got another A kind of coming this way, straight line here, and down that runs into this roof. So here's sort of the little house at the end. Okay, and let's see how wide, so we're going to make this a little bit wider here, like that. There we go. So we're going to make some adjustments. Now at this point, you're going to draw a straight line across here. Oh, I don't know, about 2 fingers and straight down. And another straight line. Let's bring this down. And then we'll add some stuff, okay? So we've got another straight line coming across here, like that, an angle, and kind of our snow. So that's pretty much how you get your barn in, okay? Now, I think I'd like this to slope a little more this way. I'm going to just do a little changes here. Want to just angle that a little more. That's why my chalk is here. And I think that's really all the information you need. You're going, really? Yeah, this will be a straight line coming down here like that. There'll be some other stuff in there. But that's basically our barn, okay? So now that we've got the barn drawn, you're going, what? That's the barn? Let's put some paint out. You know, we've had a really busy week. Everybody's getting ready for the holidays. Amazon's been delivering packages because we're going to go over to Cinnamon's house and my grandkids for Christmas. And so... and
we love our Amazon.
So we love our Amazon. We've been buying like crazy. We should have... there was stock in the company, I'm telling you what. Who wants to go out anymore? I haven't been out at all. I've just been sitting there. I talk on the phone to my daughter, Cinnamon, and I say, what do the grandkids want? Send me a link. And I said, give me a list. Send me a link. And and there it shows up. So we're using ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, burnt umber, cad red medium, dazzling purple, and cad yellow medium. Okay, pretty easy, right? So here's our burnt umber. That's your dark brown. Raw umber is your kind of transparent brown, but this is the dark brown, burnt umber. And I'm using Matisse, but people always ask me what kind of paint. I have brands of paint that I really dislike, but since I'm live on air, I really have to be careful what I say. But I can tell you the ones I like. I like Matisse. I like Golden. I like Heavy Body Liquitex. Pretty much those are my favorite brands of paint. In other countries, like in Europe, they have different ones. I've never used those, so I can't say. But I can tell you what I do like and that they do work. And I have certain colors that we use. It's not really even a limited palette. It's just that once you learn to mix the colors, you can make just about anything. So let's see. I don't want this one. I want I'm going to use some Liquitex Cad Red Medium. Okay, right there. Because I happen to have a tube of that. And I might even use some Liquitex Cad Yellow Medium because I happen to have some out. Somebody says, what would be the advantage of Liquitex? If you've got any kind of arthritis or anything, right? They have self-cleaning caps. Did you guys know that? The caps are self-cleaning. Conversely, everybody else on the planet has these dumb caps that after the paint gets around them, they're more challenging to put on every time. Now I have a little tip on one of my tips and tricks where I show you how to dip the cap in water and then put it back on, and that's great if you sock folders. I'm sure you'd have no trouble doing that. Those of you who are not sock folders, forget, and then you can't get the cap back on. I'm going to do a little Dazzling purple. Okay, how's that? A little Dazzling purple, and I'd say that that's our that's just basically the paints we want. Now, let's see. Let's put this chalk in the dish so we can find it again. Let's move that. Here's our little spray bottle. Should we give everything a light mist? 1, 2, 3, 4, light mist. Sounds good to me. All right, so we're putting this as, don't need that. What do we got? Don't need this. Probably need a brush. Don't need that. Oh, here's a brush. This is a number 8 Ruby Satin Silver Bright brush. It's a little bit older, but I want to kind of do a gray sky, dark gray sky. Now, ideally speaking, it would be nice if I'd had a dark underpainting, but I don't have time to do that, so we're not doing a dark underpainting. So then what? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take some burnt umber, start with that, a little ultramarine blue. Okay. We're going to come up here, and we're going to do layer 1 of our dark sky. How's that? I'm just going to go ahead and do that, layer 1 of the dark sky. We're going to come down this far. Acrylic paint's layer, okay? So, you know, you don't have to be, it's not like watercolor. You got to get all the colors in the exact right spot or it all goes to heck, right? You're okay with that. So we're good. I'm telling you what, you can buy some expensive watercolor paper. I mean, some of it gets really pricey, and you can be painting all along and get right to the end and mess it up and you're in trouble. But with acrylic paints, you're really not in trouble when you do that. Here's my dark sky because, why is that? Because you dry it and paint over it. And as long as you haven't used some sort of medium, like stucco or something, or tape, you pretty much can get rid of anything. All right, so that's pretty dark. And as long as I'm doing that, I'll take a little tiny, you notice there was no water on the brush when I did that. Now I'm going to put a little water on the brush and just for the fun of it, just do my sides because I don't like the edges showing. I'll just do that now while I can. So John, do we have any awesome questions for our lovely people that are here?
No, but we'd like to thank Miss Brooke for the donation.
Oh my gosh, that is so sweet. The live classes are where people can donate, and and we appreciate it, okay? Because we don't have sponsors. We're buying the paints and the canvas and all that stuff, just like you guys are, and so we appreciate that. How do they do that anyway? Somebody wanted to donate, John. How would they do that?
Well, you have the $ down there with your super chat, called a super chat, right underneath where you chat. If you're on an iOS device, you don't get that option.
What is an
you can
iOS
go
device?
To the website.
What is an iOS device, John?
That would be an Apple device there.
Okay, so let's just be clear about that.
Apple
doesn't want to send us any money.
Apple iPad and Apple phone. Your Mac can do it.
The Mac can do it though.
Yeah.
If you're on a Mac, you can do it. Okay, but not on that would be the computer actually. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty good. Now, where else would I want something dark? Well, let's just. If I paint it all dark, then we'll lose the barn. But we could probably paint this part dark and not be too wrong. What do you think, you guys? We could probably get away with doing that. Come up under here and paint this dark. We'll just leave our chalk line so we can see it, right? We're going to paint that dark. As long as we're just fooling around painting dark, let's do that. Okay, sounds good to you? And I could probably paint this side dark here. Okay. All right, I'm going to just come down a little further than I'd want. I always put snow over it. Does that make sense? I don't have to be that careful. All right, so there's that. So far you're going, wow, that was easy. So anyway, here's a couple of things we want to remind you guys about. When you watch our channel, one of the things that's nifty, what John and I really appreciate, is if you subscribe. We usually talk about that at the beginning. But if you subscribe to our channel, then you'll get notices of when our live shows are. Now, our live shows are currently Monday and Tuesday, 7:30. Sometimes we'll do a spontaneous one. We're considering, and we're going to ask your opinion on this. We're considering going Sunday afternoon.
Monday evening till at 7:30, but then Sunday 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So we want to know what you guys thought about that, Central Time. So your opinion is appreciated. So and go ahead and let us know. You can do it in the comments. Here's the thing: you can comment now, but if after the video's over, if you come back into the comments, all right, just gonna.
Your comments gone.
Your comments are gone, so you have to re-comment again. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to do this. Just kind of do this part here. I can put that back now that I know where everything goes. Now, I'm going to take a little phthalo blue now. Didn't clean my brush. You see that? I'm going to get some white. Come over here into all of this, right? See that? Now I've got this sort of, it's like a French blue. I'm going to come in here. This is my underpainting for the snow. I'm going to come in here and just paint that on here like that. I have to have an underpainting. And let's see, a little tiny bit of mist on the water right here. I'm going to make myself a little spot of water right like that. There you go. So that I'm not dipping the brush in water. I'm just dampening it. Do you see that? And I'm going to say that I've got some sort of underpainting of blue here. My brush is dirty, and that's fine. We're doing this. Man, it looks like night now, doesn't it? Okay, we're going to say it's coming behind the barn a little bit here, like that.
Thank you, Linda, for the donation.
Oh, Linda, thank you very much. Happy holidays. And we will, were we doing a live show next week on Christmas, John? I don't think so.
No.
We will not have a live show next week on Christmas. We will do one on Tuesday.
And we'd like to thank Becky for her donation.
Oh, thank you very much, you guys. We really appreciate it.
Somebody's saying that people say same time as Cinnamon. Cinnamon's not on Sundays, is she?
Is Cinnamon on Sundays? She didn't used to be.
Yeah, sometimes Cinnamon does 3 p.m. on Sunday, and actually Angela has same time for her Patreons.
Well, that's good. That's good. They should watch that then. Okay, I'm all for that.
Yep.
We're all for that, right? Everybody's, can't be all things to all people. And, we'll do the best we can. And, those of you who get to see it, I guess, right?
You can always watch the recording.
Yeah. Okay. So now you see what I've got so far. Okay. Incidentally, I want to say that we just scholarshiped for a couple of months a young person in China.
Yeah, and we're really excited about that. This was the first person that we've been able to do that, and she is actually in China.
And here's the thing. She happens to live in an area where she has internet access, Macau, right? And why this is important is that she wanted to know if the Chinese government apparently is real big on certificates, of
completion.
Completion, and sometimes if you can offer a certificate, they're even willing to pay for the course. And we've valued about, on our art academy, we have the very beginner lessons. I mean, if you've never seen an acrylic paintbrush, we take you from never seeing a brush up to doing masterpieces. That's what we do. But we have a whole series, probably 50 lessons just for beginners on our site. People say, well, Ginger's paintings are too hard on our site. Well, we built you up to that. We just, you just don't stop at, at a painting party level. We actually teach you how to paint, okay? And, but we've never done certificates. So we're going to devise a certificate program for our, at least beginning artists. And what people will do, and we've talked about this before, and this is how we're going to do it with her. We'll let you know when it works. We're going to offer it to everybody. What you can have is that you will be given a series of paintings, and there'll be a value thing on each paintings, and you get a certificate if you get so many points. And each painting will be each lesson will be worth so many points, and there'll be like 5 criteria for each lesson. So you don't have to have
5. At least 5.
At least 5. So you don't have to have a perfect score, but when you reach 80, you'll get your certificate.
Right.
And then move on. And we think that's a good thing. We'll try it, let you know. And she's our first person to do it. So we scholarshiped her. We'll see how that works. Now. And
that's because we had a person that had been donating for us, and we appreciate that. And so we were able to add her in.
Yeah, then that's, people say, where do your donations go? Well, they help buy paint.
Yeah, we did that one, and then we had a couple other donations, again from that same person, that we were able to give 3-month certificates to a couple other people.
Yeah, so I mean, we scholarship people, And people say, well, how do you get a scholarship? Well, it just depends. I mean, for the most part, our lessons are so inexpensive, though the prices are going up in January. If you're thinking about signing up for our academy,
do it before the first of the
do
year.
it before the first of the year, and here's why. We grandfather your price in, so in 10 years, you're still paying what you paid in 2017. We have people paying what they paid in 2016. We started off at how low?
Seniors was $19.95.
Seniors,
I think it's $19.95 and $21.95.
and $21.95, and now now it's $26.95, and it's going up to what in January?
29, I think.
29. So you see, it's because our costs go up. Our costs, it costs us more. Everything's going up for us. So, but we appreciate the people that hung in there with us, and as long as their membership stays current, they're grandfathered into that price, which I think is kind of a nice thing to do. I think this is pretty dry up here now, right? So now let's make our sky color. Should we do that? So let's take some white and just put it in the paint we've already got, and let's get a little brown to it. Let's get some brown, a little bit of ultramarine blue, and white and brown, burnt umber. Okay. Now, there we go. I need this darker, so I'm going to make it a little bit darker. More brown, more ultramarine blue. See, I'm just kind of mixing that in there. More blue. Tiny bit of yellow, believe it or not, just a teeny bit. Not much. Tiny bit of cad red medium. Just a tiny bit, like less than 1%. More blue. Getting it too gray here. All right, now I've got this really good gray. Do you see that? And I'll take a touch of phthalo in there. Now, okay, there we go. There's my color. See? And that's how I made it. Now, let's see. Let's see, we need one thing. I'm going to rinse my brush off because I had a little brown on it. Now I'll rinse it and wipe it. Put a little bit more white in that. Just lighten that up just a touch. See that? Now let's test it. Perfect. So now we're just going to come along here like this, and I think this is dry. Yep. And paint the sky in this sort of gray-blue color. Like that.
Somebody just got their painting. Who was that, Sharon?
Somebody just did what?
Got her auction painting.
Oh, we're so good. We want to thank everybody that participated in our auction. We
were hoping to get some more things up, but it's not going to happen.
We'll probably do another one in the spring, but right now that's sort of it for us. But we want to thank everybody who participated, and we like to be able to do that. I mean, we create so many beautiful paintings. Some we keep in our permanent collection, but others we like to put up for auction, and we think it's kind of nice to have and we're glad to do it. I don't normally just have a store where I sell artwork. We just do auctions now and then. All right, so here we go.
That way you get it at wholesale pricing.
You're getting the wholesale pricing, all right? Because we
want to be able to let people get Ginger's paintings. Even the smaller ones, they start off at $45, and that's pretty reasonable for a Ginger Cook original.
Yeah, it is.
Somebody asked about the bookshelf. That ain't going up for auction, people.
No,
bring that up, Ginger. You got that?
Yeah,
handy?
I do have that right here, and I want to just show you the bookshelf because this is if you wanted to just do this bookshelf and nothing else on our website, for $9.95 you can get a week's membership and then just watch this lesson. But here's our bookshelf. Can you see it?
Yep, they can see it.
And what I love about this was from an old dead artist that did this in the 1880s,
Yeah.
And this is so me. I mean, I'm all about books. I have a book coffee table, and I have a book lamp piled up, books with lamps, and I've got so many things in my house that are about books. And until I discovered Kindles, where I now just don't buy any books anymore, I have them on my computer. Kindle. But I love books, and I love this, and I want you to see how the original had a bunch of he had all these little stickers on here with different stuff, and I just customized mine. I think you should customize yours. I just put YouTube 7 o'clock, and I put something else down here, and I got my name here, and love the word. I mean, but I had a lot of fun just kind of adding a little bit of personalization to it on this. But I love this book here that's just sort of flopped and this kind of soft back one there.
That's a great lesson. 5.5 hours.
5.5 hours, and this is on a 10 by 20 canvas. Okay.
Yeah.
And
But that one will not show up on auction.
no.
The bear and I have snatched it up.
But I want to just say something too. You know, we've got, when you have over 350 videos on your website for lessons, I mean, I love this one, our coffee grinder.
Do another one.
It's called Ode to Coffee, and this is a really fun one to paint. Don't you? You know, if you've got someone that's into coffee, I think this is a great kitchen piece myself.
Yeah. That's a great background on that one too.
Yeah, look at that. The same kind of wonderful background. So anyway, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, we have a lot of people do that one. It's a nice piece.
Yeah, but people sometimes they get kind of forget them. All right, now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to say that there's some sort of little mountains back here, like this. I guess I didn't come down far enough with this, but that's okay. We're going to add a little more ultramarine blue and phthalo blue to this mixture. A little tiny bit of brown, okay? A little bit of white. So we're going to make the same thing, almost slightly darker. Does that make sense? So I'm going to come in here like this and say that this is my mountains back here. Do you see what I did? Just came in here like this and went right over that. Just these are a little bit bluer. Okay, here's our mountains back behind here, our barn, like that. All right, everybody's good with that? So, you know, when I was a kid, I had this pony. His name was Buster. And we had an old barn. It had a roof on it, though. It wasn't like this. We had an old barn. And my sister had a horse. And, well, we actually, yeah, she had a horse for a while. His name was Cloud. And big white horse. Good name for a horse, isn't it, Cloud? And my pony was never happy about being the smallest guy in the herd. And so he'd go into the barn and start fights with them. They'd start kicking him, and then he'd be screaming and squealing. So my dad cut a hole in the side of the barn that was just his size so he could go in and cause trouble and then run out. We just thought that was cute. All right, so let's go back a little bit to our burnt umber now. And just with the burnt umber, I'm going to make this dark brown right here, like that. See, I didn't put any blue in it, so you can see the difference in the brown. Can you see it? There's no blue in it. Slightly different than these others. Okay, just wanted you to see that. Now our roof has got, let's see, I think I'm out of burnt umber. Our roof has got a lot of holes in it, okay? So what the easiest thing to do is to just sort of paint where they're going to be. So I'm going to just take some burnt umber and some phthalo blue, make this real dark color, okay? And I'm just going to come up here. It's got the phthalo blue. You can see it's a different color completely, isn't it? Phthalo blue and burnt umber. It's a different kind of charcoaly color. And I'm going to go ahead and paint the roof in this color. See, how am I doing here? Pretty good, I think, right? Then let's do the same thing down here. In the middle, there's some of this color. So we'll just paint that in like that. There's no water on my brush. I just want to keep mentioning that. Everybody wants to put a lot of water on the brush. Just put more paint. Okay, so let's say a little bit of burnt phthalo blue, burnt umber. Okay, oh, I had some purple. Let's put a little purple in that. Let's darken that up. Ooh, look at that. And add a tiny bit of purple to that. Boy, that darkened that up, didn't it? I think that's what this needed, a little bit of purple. Okay, so that's the darkest spot here. You can mix right on your canvas, you guys. Anyway. So, you probably have heard, some of you probably heard this story, but when I got to be feeling a little more independent in my life, see, I want a dark kind of door right here. I used to take my pony. It was like a Sunday morning, and my parents, I think I was probably about 11, and that my parents did like to sleep in. They were big on that, and so I would get my blue jeans on and my pajama top, and I would take my pony, and we would go I'd just go visit my girlfriend, who lived just up the road, and asked if she'd come out and play, knowing full well she couldn't, of course. And sure, of course, her parents weren't going to. They were heading off to church. She wasn't going. She thinks she was a Christian Scientist. Anyway, they were heading off to church. Wow, I didn't clean those two brushes. Well, I guess that's the end of that one. Is this one okay? Yeah. Anyway, they were heading off to church, and I knew full well she couldn't come play. But I did it anyway because at that point they were eating breakfast. And, well, nobody's up at my house. That was my first good line. Don't you think that's good? I'd go, well, nobody's up at my house. Okay. And have you eaten? No. So then, of course, they would invite me in to eat. And I'd tie the pony up and I'd go eat. Then they went off to church. And then I went to her cousin's house. It took me a little longer to get there on the pony, but, you know, I was tenacious. And I would get up to her cousin's house, darkening this up now. And can Tina come out and play? Tina Tack, that was her name. And, well, we're just getting ready to go to church. Have you eaten? No. Now I'm in kind of stained pajamas at this point. No. Oh, we'll come in and eat something. Okay. So I'd come in. And then obviously nobody was available to be able to play. So then I went over to, and I had to really ride a ways to this. It took me a little longer to get there. It was about, I think I had started off about 6:30, and I think it was closer to noon by the time I got over to this other house, and they were back from church. She lived in a subdivision where I can't even think of what her name was, but she lived in a subdivision far away. And, you know, my same little line, should she come out and play? No. Just got back from church. We're eating. Have you eaten? No. They had strawberry waffles for breakfast. Really nice strawberry waffles. Nobody made that at my house.
So you just moosed off all the neighbors.
All the neighbors. And, you know, I did this for, you know.
Years.
Well, no, not very long because mothers talk. You know how that is? You know, they all got to talking about what a terrible parent the judge's wife was, probably. Yeah. I'm sure that's how the story went, right? Can you believe that woman? That she sends her kid out, doesn't have anything to eat. We're going to just do this right now, too. Let's bring this log up here like this, kind of at an angle. This kind of slants up a bit here. Okay, and here's some dark right here. Yeah, and so the one thing you couldn't do with my mother was embarrass her. If you did that, you could just do about anything, but embarrassing her was like the kiss of death. You know what I mean?
You should never embarrass your parent.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, and it's easy, you know, and kids do it all the time unintentionally. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of white now into this blue mixture that we just did, a little bit more white paint. Okay, like that, into this sort of blue-brown color mixture. And we're going to make this off-white color. We're going to come on up here like this, and we're going to suggest snow on these hills back here like that. I'm going to suggest some snow, just like that. To do the same thing over here. We're going to say that there's some sort of snow coming here. You need to leave some of the dark as shadows for your snow. These are very vague mountains. They're in the background. We're not talking too much about them. You know, like that. In fact, I think they could be a little darker, though. So the darker part could be slightly darker. So let's come up here and, well, that's too dark. Don't want that. They're way in the background, you guys. This is our idea behind these, that these mountains are way in the background. Well, let's see, this doesn't feel very mountainy. Let's fix that like that. There, okay. Now we'll take a little of the light color, just tap it in there like that, and suggest mountains, right? Just something like that. Put a little bit of dark shadow back here, kind of break that up. Okay, so we've got some mountains back there, and we got some mountains here. Now let's come back up with a little more white. Next layer, because acrylic's dry darker. And because this is all wet, we're going to tap that on there. Just tap on a little more snow in places like that, so you can kind of see them, you know, these peaks. You know, I'm not out, you don't see me doing this, outlining them. I'm not doing that. I'm just in a few places suggesting some lighter snow, you know, like that. See, it's not lighter everywhere, you guys.
You're creating the ridges.
Yeah, kind of creating some ridges like Ruffles potato chips. Talk about food here. Remember when they came out with those? Ruffles have
those
ridges.
Were great, because they would hold up in the dip.
So I got in trouble. I didn't get to see my good friends anymore. That was, well, I got in trouble. I think they sent me off to boarding school. I think they solved that. And
to make sure you got fed.
Well, whatever, you know. So anyway, that was that. So there's our mountain, kind of our mountain range, which is cool. I like this, don't you? I lied and said I wasn't going to outline it, but I kind of like that one back there like that, don't you? That looks pretty good. Okay, so now Is this dry yet? Not quite. Well, we could probably work on this. All right, so let's start with some orange color. Red and yellow make an orange, right? And then if you add a teeny bit of purple to that, you get kind of a rust brown color. And let's put a little more red with that. Okay, now I've got this sort of rusty brown color. And I'll add a little bit of burnt umber and tone that down just a hair. So now it's sort of a, I don't know, kind of camel brown is the color I've got. Now I'm going to pinch the brush, see that? Now I'm going to come under here, and this is called dry brushing. You take all the paint off the brush. Then you come in here like this. We're using a little 3/8 inch angle brush. You barely touch it, and you indicate, leaving some of the brown, you indicate some boards like this, leaving some of the dark brown showing, okay? We're going to indicate some boards. And let's take a little bit more red with that. Let's just brighten that up just a touch. And come back over here, see me pinch it off. Let's do it one more time.
Oh, now we're talking about boys eating. I used to always get invited over to the girlfriends' houses.
Did you?
Oh, heck yeah. Mothers loved me. What's not to love?
Well,
I was great with the mothers.
I bet so. I bet so. My mother was an embarrassment. When I finally started having dates, my mother just could embarrass me. See, I add a little more white to that brown now. We'll just see what we're doing here. Barely touching it. And the stroke is this, pulling straight down. Push and then pull. Okay, like that. Yeah, my mother would just embarrass me. She'd always want to feed them. I don't know, like they were lone squirrels that needed fed. That was her thing, was to feed them.
Well, that's what you do with guys. They're always hungry.
And she'd go, let me give you something to eat.
Absolutely. I say, okay, what do you got?
Yeah, you know, I didn't understand it because my brothers didn't live with us, so I didn't understand this need to feed all these people. That they were...
Even though you were running around mooching food from everybody.
Yeah, but I was a little kid. We're talking now 15, 16. Flash forward. Flash forward. I'm no longer mooching food off of people.
I see.
You know, I'm just saying, right?
Just want to make sure.
So, you know, but she would do that too, which was very embarrassing. Though I'll tell you a true story. My brother Jensen had no couth. You used to use that expression? I don't know where he had no table manners. And when he looked a little bit like James Dean, leather jacket and all that stuff, right? And too cool for school. And when he started dating his first wife, Diana, he went over to her house, the first time he went to her house to meet her parents.
Yeah.
He walked. He didn't even say hello to them. He just kind of nodded and went past them, found the refrigerator, opened it up, took a turkey leg out and started eating it and then talking to them. And they were just...
Wow.
Stunned, right? They'd never seen anything like it, right?
The best thing to do is just schmooze the parents.
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't care about that, you know.
Yeah, see? My daddy brought me up better.
Well, Jensen was not brought up. My parents, you know, adopted all 5 of us kids, and they had about 6 months of the boys, and then they were sent to live in Seattle, and they hired, my mother's sister was hired to look after them, Aunt Sally, who really liked them. She'd raised a boy, and the judge came and ate dinner with them once a week. So I forgot something here. Here we go. Remember, we're doing this. Here's our holes in this. You want to put the holes in the just like that. Keep the angles the same. Keep these hole angles the same. Okay. So anyway, that was their trick. And you know, so my brothers really didn't, and then they spent a lot of time at boarding school, so they really didn't get the table manners, and we saw them at Christmas, you know, and for publicity parties and stuff. It sounds a little bitter. I'm not trying to be bitter. I'm just saying that's how it was, right? Years later, you know, years later, my mother, I don't think even knew what my birthday was. You know,
I know when your birthday is.
You know when your birthday was. But that, I remember that. We talked about that before on my birthday. That just wasn't her thing, you know.
Well, speaking of birthdays, what do you got going on this year, Miss Ginger?
Oh, you guys, this is so fun. For my birthday this year, we are doing a 5-day cruise out of Galveston.
No, not a cruise.
A cruise, 31st of January. And we're just inviting anybody that wants to book with Chloe to come along. We're not making any money on you guys. This is just your deal. If you want to come, where I may be painting, we're not guaranteeing anyone, but if you want to hang out with us, we've got a few people coming. And, if you talk to if you go to use our Contact Us, we'll give you Chloe's information to book it. The reason we picked it was that the cabins they're filling up, but it's very, very inexpensive. When we booked ours, we were under $600 for the two of us for the week.
And that was a window seat.
And that was a window. So I don't know what they've got going, plus the $65 shipboard credit. So my suggestion is if you think you might like to try, we're just going to Cozumel, right? So if you think you might like to try hanging out with us.
And Costa Maya.
Yeah, Costa Maya, yeah.
I think.
And so if you think you might like to do some of that, right? I think that might be fun. Could be fun. Can't guarantee it's fun, but could be fun. Here's a little kind of off-white roof right here.
I'd love to send a painting from the U.S. to my sister in Australia. You know how much it would be. I'm sending one to Norway, and it's about $45 priority mail. If you go first class, there's no guarantee that it'll ever get there. But it's about half price. Australia will probably be a little bit more because it's the other half.
I think we sent something to Sylvia from Australia. It cost us like $25 to send her something.
And that was just that wasn't even a 1-pounder.
Yeah, it cost us $25 to send it to
and
Sylvia.
And we did the cheap thingy.
Yeah, because we were sending her an imagination rag.
Yeah.
Cloth.
And she was fine with that. She finally got it. Like
but
6 weeks later.
It was a little bit like, wagon train might have been faster. Okay, so I'm coming down here, and you see I'm putting these boards in like that. See that? Using just the side of, just white paint, using just the side of my brush here. And coming down, maybe I'll skip a space, do this. Now, here's the thing. If you accidentally cover up all your
darkness,
you can put it back. It's not like you couldn't paint some darkness back here. You certainly could. I like this part, though, where it's sort of like, where the rafters are showing through. So here we go. Like that. I mean, I think that's kind of cool looking. And then this part here had a kind of a jaggedy thing here. And it's going to come back over here on the edge. I want this edge to be out here a little bit. Like that. Just kind of expand that edge, and the same thing here. Get a little more white going here. Okay. It's coming along, though. Isn't that cute?
Kim Sim things from China can take 6 weeks. You're fine.
Okay.
Yes, we're going to have more imagination cloths for auction. We were hoping this year, but it's not going to happen. One of us is sick. The bear.
So, yeah, we're sorry about that, you guys.
Year.
Now, look, I'm going to put...
we have more puzzles. We found more puzzles.
A couple more, anyway.
Yeah.
I've got something coming in here with a little bit of blue on it, kind of going back this way. This is almost the rafters of the sky that are showing through here. This is like the sky color. Showing like this, coming this way. See that, where the sky might be shining through? Now, I'm doing this right here. My paint's kind of drying out, so I'm going to mist it because I've got it so flat. When you make the colors this flat, when you mix them, your paint will dry much quicker than if you were to not do that. But, for the purpose of this, it's pretty easy. So we're going to come along here like this and do a little roof coming out this way at an angle. This side's angling. See that? Like that. This is following this angle like that, but this is straight. The same thing right here. Let's take this and we're going to I'm just going to come back and do this and put the dark in it. Probably easier. This is doing this right here. And we got any dark colors here? I want some dark underneath that. I got up a little high with this, so we'll put a little bit of dark brown underneath here like that. Kind of bring this down a little bit here. Okay, so this is sort of, paint as you go, barn business, okay? So let's kind of shorten that up like that. But let's see, where's our brown? Anyway, so where we're at, so I'm starting to tell you these stories here. So we get with my mother with her weird stuff. So, birthdays and stuff. It was just very, very strange. And we never knew what to get her for a birthday. She was just never quite liked what we got her. Got a little loose board up here, and I don't know why it's there, but look, I didn't make this up. This is an actual place.
Well, it's part of that rafter. It's part of that side.
Well, whatever. I'd give up. You know, obviously, it's
my.
part of something. I'm not a barn builder, so I don't know.
And you're not a sock folder. We all know that.
And I just follow the lines. You know what I mean? If there was a line there, I know how to put that. There's a line, so I'm going to put it, right? Here's another line that's going straight across here, parallel, like that. And this one's going a little bit longer.
Make sure you do the sound effects.
Boop, 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 boop. Sound effects, yeah. Sound effects, more dark brown. And then here's one down here somewhere. Kind of crossing this one. All right, so there's the dark, and I have to put white on top of it. Okay, so then I'm going to wipe the brush off and add a little bit of shadow right here on this part of the roof of this one. A little bit of shadow, okay? With me?
No, that was me. My package arrived. That's what Echo's telling me.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I want some dark. Here's some dark color. We're just kind of playing here. I want some dark right under here. So another little layer of dark, right like this. And let's see, what else do I need? If I have enough dark in here, here's my little... I told you could put some dark back if you got carried away. I'm talking to you and I'm not always paying attention, but one definitely can do that, right? Here's this dark brown here, these little lines coming across here, this little short one here, like that, okay? A little bit of a rafter, and boy, this little barn is really falling apart, isn't it? Do you guys know why there's, the barns are red in the United States? Do you guys know that? Barns are traditionally
we have
red.
trivia?
Yeah, do you guys know where that is? Well,
so the bulls would know where to come home?
Well, you'd think that would be the case, and it's a good answer, but actually, when the railroad went across the country, they painted the railroad cars this rusty red, and it was really cheap paint, so the farmers could get that. Very cheap.
Ah, wise people.
So that's why now pretty much if you have a barn, you pretty much have to paint it red, because that's the color of, that. Now we're getting into white now. You guys see that? So we're starting to say that there's some white piling up here on these rafters. See that little bumpy stuff? Maybe a little bit more white back here on the top of this roof right here. Now we're getting into white, right? Just...
Now remember, it's all layers.
Yeah, see? It's all layers.
She keeps going back over and over.
And there's a little bit of white.
People ask how many layers. Watch the video slow motion and count them. I know they are a lot.
Okay, so this is on top of these little rafters here. So half you're just kind of dividing it in half with the white here. Okay, and then we've got back into here, this top part here. Let's just come up here like this. Just say here's a little more white here, a little bit. Guess it wasn't that light on here, but we'll just add a little more blue to that.
I'm buffering on my computer.
What?
I'm buffering, but we're broadcasting fine.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Anybody else buffering? I just buffered for a second. I'm back.
Don't make this too straight here, you guys. This is snow, so if you get the lines too perfect, it won't look like snow. Does that make sense? And normally, if this was a barn, you'd want the lines to be very straight, but because it's snow on here,
it's going to be bumpy.
It's bumpy. All right. The same thing here, like coming down here like this, and oh yeah, snow going up on these things like that. We've got another rafter coming this way, and oh, what happened to you? Okay, there we go. There, something like that. So see how we're putting those in? And then we've got a little bit of white here, and we're going to just barely break this up. Like that. Just barely touch it. Just kind of scribble this in. See the brush is doing that? Barely touching it. We're painting this whole thing with this little angle brush. I want to mention again, I want to wish a happy holidays to my friends that own the Brush Guys, and thank them so much this year for carrying the brushes that I love, which are the ruby satin silver short handle brushes and some of the Art Sherpa brushes that carry the full line of cinnamons. And what they've done for us is they've said, look, if anybody goes to them, I think they have some of the best prices anywhere, and you'll get an additional 5% off if you use my name, all one word, Ginger Cook, in the discount code. And it's good for any of the brushes on their site. And they have been just marvelous in, helping us out here doing that. I got this one a little bit tall here. Did you guys see that? Do you see this? Do you see this roof's a little bit big, this thing? This is too big here. Now watch how we fix that. See, this is too big. So we're going to just get rid of this part of the... See? This is how easy that is to fix. Ha ha. See?
Oh, I see what you did.
See, I got it too tall, but that's okay, but it doesn't matter. See, I got it too tall, but no worries because
You nipped it.
I noticed that and fixed it while I was talking to you, see? I noticed that and fixed it. This looks like Colorado, Wyoming, doesn't it? And I feel like this angle here is a little too straight down. I want to bring this out a little more. Like that. I want to have that angle out a little more. There you go.
So always the age-old question, is a painting ever done with you, Ginger?
Well, it kind of is, and, it is. And, sometimes, look, if you went back 3 months later to paint something, which I did recently, practically 2 months later, you're not in the same mood as you were when you painted it. So you're going to make the painting's going to be different. So,
oh yeah, the horse.
And also, every month you get better. Okay, so yeah, the horse we went back and changed. All right, so I've got another like about halfway here.
Totally
I've got
changed.
another roof here. That's it looks like it was made some sort of chin, and it's not pretty straight here. It's just started doing this. Okay, like that, just not all that great. And then we've got another little cross piece here, under here, with some uppy down things. Something like this. There. All right, we got some little things here. And then we need a little bit more white here. On just a few little white boards coming down. Like that. And how did we do here? Did we lighten that up enough? Again, this is that trick with acrylics drying darker. Let's come up a little bit higher with this. Okay. There we go. Got
So
that
what
a little
brushes have
low.
you used on this? Just that one? You didn't do the background with that, did you?
No, I did the background with with this one. This one here, right?
Which is what?
That's the number 8 ruby. That's a ruby satin silver. That's a
brand.
Silver is a brand. Ruby satins are the ones I like with the red. I also like the Bristol-ons, but they're a little more expensive. But I like these, and I did the background with that.
All right.
Now, and so I got this. So now we've got back here, behind here, we need to make a dark green color. So phthalo blue and yellow, a little purple. Okay, and we're going to make this dark green color. Maybe a tiny bit of, yeah, that's right, dark green. Now we're going to come up here like this, and we're going to tap in some little Christmas trees, little tiny trees like this, little pine trees. Just got to break, I don't want any yellow showing. Okay, so here's our little tiny trees here, and here's one here. Make sure these are nice and, like that. Here we go, a little bit wider down here. I think I didn't give myself as much room on this one as I did on the sample, but that's okay. We got some trees here. So little trees behind here, and here's another little tree back here on this side. Another little tree doing this. We're not going to see too much of that right there. A little bit of tree right there, okay? So there's that tree. So if that's that tree, which it is, right? Just
I love it when you do that.
just that. I mean, you just talk about what you know, right? So I know that's true, okay? And you always talk about what's true and what we know, okay? So let's put some snow on it. Okay, so all right, we talk a lot about this, but we're going to talk about it again because we don't want any confusion. Here's what we don't want. I always like to say what we don't want. We don't want.
That looks like a pine tree.
Yeah, we don't want that. No. Okay, so here's your background color, right? Let's do it with our dark chalk, all right? So here's basically what we did. We came down here and we did some sort of scribbly little raggedy tree like this, right? It's so raggedy you probably wouldn't, if you saw it at the Christmas tree lot, you wouldn't buy it, okay? Okay, so you got that, and it's tiny at the top. Now you want to put some snow on it. Snow falls downhill, like that means from the sky down, right? For those of you who weren't aware that that's what it does, right? So what it does is it lands on the top of this stuff. Does that make sense?
It
lands on the top of the boughs, not underneath. So now it's going to land here. Maybe it's going to pile up a bit even, right? And maybe it's going to hit here, see, like that. And maybe here a little bit, like that. Does that make sense? And you got the dark underneath. How's that? Does that make sense? Do you see what it has to do?
It makes sense to me.
Okay, so that's the theory behind how we're doing it, right? Now, there's a zillion different kinds of Christmas trees and pine trees, all different kinds, right? And if you don't think so, go to a Christmas tree lot. And they got some that are $100 and some that are $5, and you're going, what's the difference? And then they have, oh, we'll see the needles on this one, they're different. You're going, yeah, is that like $300 worth more, whatever? But, but obviously they're different kinds. So if your tree looks a little different than mine, it was one of those other kinds, right? Make
Simple
sense
as
to
that.
you? All right, using the corner of the brush, right? I'm going to start up here like this and tap on some white, just like I did with the chalk. And I'm going to indicate this pine tree, just like that, leaving some of the dark show through. See that? And we did that with the, if those of you who haven't done the church, we did it the same way. Remember that? We did that with the church. Do we have the picture of the church, John?
Yes, I'm sure we do.
Somewhere you've got, we had a lot of views on that, this little Christmas church kind of thing. And I got so impressed with you guys. If you're not a member, the Ginger Cook Acrylic Painting Club on Facebook, please, apply to join. We have a great set of 5 moderators that keep out. In fact, just today, Judy was saying that we don't have any axe murderers in our club because she's been vigilant. And I'm telling you what, we're all on the lookout for those guys. And there's none in our club. Feel safe. And people only say kind things. It's like Fantasyland. And you can certainly show some of the artwork that you've done. I mean, it's my club, you guys. So you can show either original artwork or artwork that you've done from either our lessons or YouTube. And the gang, if you want help, you put CC on it, see what the gang does. Here's the one we did last Monday, our little kind of church scene, right? And I'm so impressed with what you guys have painted. I can't express that enough. I'm so impressed, and I want to just say that because because I wanted to say it. But anyway, we're real impressed with you guys. And thank you for sharing, okay? That's what I would tell you. Thank you for sharing. And there you go. All right, so see that? See my little trees there? I mean, it's kind of cool. This was not that hard of painting, was it? Really? No? So now it comes to the tricky part. We're going to get down to a little smaller brush. Let's use one of these. Have you ever used a brush like this? Have you ever done one like this? With a long handle. There. You wet this one and you do this, okay? And ideally speaking, it would be nice. This is some paint Judy sent me. This is the golden, as I shake it up so you can't see it. It's the golden, it's raw umber, and it's in a flow form. It's liquidy. So you have to do tiny lines. This is a great thing to do.
They call it fluids?
They're called fluids, and you got to take the little thing off here like that, right? And now, umber would be better, but I'm going to use raw because I'm going to shake it up first because that seems reasonable, doesn't it?
I thought you just did that.
Yeah, but I'm doing it again.
Okay.
And now I'm going to put a little bit of a drop of that here. It wouldn't take much. Now I've got this long, funny thing right here, right? This long thing, and I'm going to roll it in there at the tip, right? Now see what I'm doing? See what I can do? Now the trick is you don't do a lot of pressure. Practice this on something. Okay, so we want to say that I want some little tiny trees coming right here like this. We're going to say I'm going to do some little tiny branches like that. And we're going to say here's some here. Barely touching it. This is the lightest. Maybe we'll start here like this, go up. I'm out of paint, a little bit more on the tip. But this, if you want really tiny thin lines, this works really well.
It's still a rich color.
Yeah, you get all the pigment of a tree like this.
Tanya wants to know, you said there's 5 mods. Tanya says, which one of us got axed? There's 6 of us.
Oh, there's 6. I'm sorry.
She axed me, guys. I'm not allowed on anymore.
Yeah, well, there's 6. All right, there's 6, and they're vigilant, man.
So I'm not vigilant.
Nothing gets by them. Please, we'd love to see what you're doing, and we're all very impressed, right, with how this goes. Here, you need some skinnier lines on this thing. Look at this. You'll need a few little skinny lines like that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So we're going to do that over here, and we want one here, too. So we're going to come up here like this on this side, and I'm going to rinse the brush again, because you know paint dries in your brush and then pinch it, as well as on the canvas. So did you guys remember that paint's drying on your brush? So we're going to come up here like that. Now we'll put white on these later, but right now this is just our underpainting of the tree. All right, like that. There's our underpainting of the tree, and I think I'm going to put another one right here like this. There. That's nice, isn't it? I mean, the precision that you can do with a brush like this is wonderful, and they're really for long, skinny lines, not short ones. Does that make sense? So, like for instance, even on here, if you wanted to pull some long, skinny lines on this, and you weren't happy with what, it's kind of a push and then pull, right?
Miss Brooke made a donation for Sheila because Sheila has an iPhone. Thank you, Miss Brooke.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Sheila.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate that very much. All right, so how cool is that, right? And you're going, way cool, Ginger, right? It was, right?
That's the first thing that came to my mind.
I know, way cool, right? Because that's what we said, right? So now, you never put a brush like this and leave it in water, because you'll bend it and then you'll be unhappy because it won't be happy again. You don't want a kink brush, so just rinse it and lay it flat. Now, back to our plan here. Well, this is, meanwhile, back at the ranch. Ha, you like that? Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Let's take some white and go back into our kind of gray-blue mixture.
Is that going to the Ponderosa days?
Yeah, Ponderosa. Yeah, wasn't that
a good Western, you know?
Yeah, we were just saying that we don't have enough good restaurants.
Restaurants.
Westerns, not restrooms.
What
Westerns.
Oh, not enough good restrooms. I see.
No, Westerns. This is not funny here. I want a little line going across here like this too, but I'm not sure why, but I feel like I do. All right, so look at the kind of the rolling hills here. The secret with the snow business is you don't want it all the same color. We know we want some light snow behind the barn, right, like that. So then we want to, let's see, there's our snow back by our pine tree, so give it a little depth. And then we're going to come up here like this and kind of make that an uneven edge. Little ultramarine blue, little phthalo, a little bit of, let's take some of that raw umber in there. Let me show you what that does. There you go. So that sort of tones down the blue so it's not so bright. A little more white. You'll see I'm mixing the color. I never go back into the same spot. If it's too dark, I move over and mix again. That's another secret here. So,
could you tell us the name of that brush, the script brush that you used?
Yeah. Let me put my glasses on. This is called a number 2 silver, ruby silver 2507S script liner brush.
So it's got to pull it back a little bit so you can see the hairs. There, see, it's very long hair-wise.
See, look how long it is. It's like
2 inches. Not an inch and a half.
An inch and a half. Where's the ruler?
Ooh, we're going to measure it. Oh. And knock over all the brushes.
Yeah, it's okay. It's about an inch long. See that?
Yeah, just an inch.
Yeah, and these are very nice for long, skinny lines. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, right?
And they hold the paint.
And they hold the paint. And I have to say that I'm very proud of my daughter Cinnamon. She does, to my opinion, the very best brush company on the whole planet is the Silver Brush Company. They make the really fine quality brushes, and I like the whole line of what they make. My preference for the way I paint, right now, you got to understand, for the way I paint, my preference are the silver line for the most part. Though I do like the Bristol line, and I have a few of those. So and I mean, those are the ones I use. Now, my daughter Cinnamon uses a few different ones, and that's okay. You know, she had some designed specifically for how she paints. Like her cloud brushes, I don't paint clouds like that at all. So her cloud brushes mean nothing to me because that's not how you do clouds. There's a lot of different ways to paint stuff. Now, this brings up a point, okay? We had somebody, I don't know who, but somebody, marched out of our club all unhappy today because they said, "You cannot force me to paint like Ginger." Well, nobody's forcing anybody to paint like anything. I don't teach you to paint like me. I teach you how to paint. If there's 1,000 different ways, let's just break it up. If there's 20 different ways to paint an ocean, we go back to the old dead artists and we get a lot of those. and I show you how I might paint it, how somebody else might paint it, and how the Impressionists paint it, and how other people painted it. And then the way you paint it is going to be you. Great example of that is our friend Andrew in Haiti. Andrew, his style is absolutely recognizable. He learned to paint, but Andrew paints like Andrew. We got some others that do that too, that they paint like themselves. At some point you get your own style, right? Just want to say that. What happened here?
I didn't do it.
Did I do that? Was that
Well, you're the only one over there.
Was this just here?
I can back up the tape and we can do
I don't remember
forensic.
this being here. What happened? Am I having a senior moment? I do not remember that being there.
Can we fix it?
Well, of course we can fix it, but
Then
why
don't
is
worry
it
about
there? Well, why is it there? That just appeared out of nowhere. How disturbing. Maybe it didn't, and oh, this is scary. Maybe it was there all along and I just didn't know. God, that's creepy. All right, so here we
have to
go.
go back in the recording and see when that appeared.
Yeah, because I thought I'd gotten rid of those, all right?
I wonder if Chester went over there quick as a doggy.
Well, I don't know, but I was thinking I may have leaned against something and then...
I find that so hard to believe.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Me too. Okay, and I got something coming up here like this, then back down here to the snow. I don't know what all that stuff is, but it's there, right? Who are we to argue with the photo? I laminated some of that. Now we're going to come back with a little white, lighten this up here just a hair.
Well, you get the idea. There's an old barn in snow.
It's not just, there's a few light highlights. Now, what we got to do is rinse the brush and put the little fence on, which is good, right? Put the little fence on it. And so we're going to start back with the dark brown phthalo blue. And what I did, and I'll show you this, what I did was I came up about 2 inches and I had a little fence leaning this way, and then kind of one going this way, and then one really leaning that way going off the canvas like that. Just sort of to indicate a fence. You never want to put a fence across the whole place because your eye's coming in this way. You don't want to do that. So, we can put the fence going this way.
Andrew says the problem is I want to paint like Ginger. No, Andrew, your style is unique. We like your style.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, and I have to say that, that's, it just, have you ever gone to have you ever gone and watched The Voice? And they have people that can sing exactly like, say, Johnny Mathis. But the people they're excited about are the ones that can sing just like them. So really what we're trying to do is help you all develop your own voice. Andrew, to me, is the perfect student because he has his own voice. And it's not like he won't keep getting better and better, but it'll always be his style. And it'll always be your style. So we're not trying to be too confining here, you guys. That is our goal, is to teach you to paint like you. And like just the other day, somebody did... If you go, I love it. It goes so fast because you guys put up so many wonderful paintings. But there was someone that took the Van Gogh's angel. Okay, remember we did that a couple weeks ago, and they gave the angel a harp. Well, I'm sorry, but I think that harp is a cool idea. Just made it so much more sense to have the harp. And that's what you want to. That's what I mean when I say you can't teach a good idea. But if I could teach you how to paint a good idea, if you had the idea. If I could teach you how to paint it, this is going to kind of go off like that, see? If I could teach you that, then I'd feel very good about it. This is really leaning, but that's okay. Okay, so now we're going to just sort of, while that's drying, let's come back to this nifty little, brush.
Speaking of the Facebook group, we will be shutting down our forum on the website the first of the year. Everybody's gone to Facebook. We even have people that said they never use Facebook. Go over there, just join Facebook, just for the club. You don't have to do anything on Facebook. I am one that personally do not like Facebook, but I'm a part of the club, and I don't have to listen to anything else going on.
Well, and here's the thing about it. I've wanted to I offer personal art coaching to my students. If you remember. And what I thought I would do to make it even more fun to be in our club, right, is once a week, I might pick 1 or 2 people that are not in our club, not that are in our club, but not a member of our art academy, right? And if somebody asks for help, I might make a suggestion or two. Normally I don't because that's reserved for people that pay for personal art coaching. But I want you to know that that's something that, if I see something, I may pop in. I'm certainly going to try to pop in as often as I can, comment on your paintings. But if I see something and someone's asked for help, if you do capital letters CC, that means you kind of want some thought. The rest of the group will pop in. Everybody's very supportive. Anybody says anything mean, they're out of there. I mean, they're just
one strike, you're out.
You're just gone, because we're not about that. Okay. So now this is the same kind of paint. This is in the white, in the fluid. Okay. So now remember we did those nifty little trees. Now I'm going to roll the tip of the brush in this. Now I'm going to come up here like this, right next to here. I'm going to barely touch it, and going to go over these tree branches and even perhaps create a few more. See, this is, if you've ever seen a tree with lots of little, have so many tree limbs, it's exhausting. You think I'd put that tree in, but I don't have 16,000 hours to, even if you could paint all the dumb little limbs, you're thinking, oh, life is too short for all these limbs. This is a really fast way to paint it. See how nice that looks? And the same thing here.
Impressionism.
Yeah,
right?
we're just throwing in a few.
What's the definition of impressionism there, boss?
Yeah, that's kind of a little bit. But you were suggesting these tree branches from this little just dead little tree. Well, it's not dead. It's just in the wintertime. It's dormant. Okay? Now, that's kind of cool, right? And again, if you need to do, you could do, this is not really designed for this kind of tree. I've got to tell you, it's not, these are just really designed for long, skinny lines like this. You want a long, skinny line like that. That's what these brushes are designed for. Other than that, they're not, they call them script, but I wouldn't use it to write my name or something, okay? All right, makes sense? Now, all right, so now we're going to come and, oh, before I do that, I got to show you this. All right, speaking of snow, you guys, have you been collecting our snow globes? Remember last year, if you didn't do it, we have Cardinal Snow Globe on YouTube. That was the YouTube Cardinal Snow, you know, birds, those little cardinals, snow globes.
Yeah, cardinals are birds. Very good.
Good. All right, just type down the peanut gallery over there. Okay, so now, and then last year for our Wave and Water Masterclass, we had a snow globe, 2016, in the little lighthouse. Do you love it?
I like that one. That's
and
my
then we
favorite.
also have another one which I couldn't find to show you, but it's a little village for our regular members. It's a little village, and these are also available for to purchase in our store if you just want to download them. Right, this one, and then we've got another one with a dolphin that's really cute. I don't know where these went. Right? I don't know.
Maybe
but look at this. This is our panda bear.
That's Patty.
That's Patty the panda bear. Is that fun or what? So that is our, this will be released this week for our members and for your 2017 snow globe. How cool is that? Isn't that neat?
I like that one.
All right, so that's Patty, and we will have a traceable for that available for you. Well, actually, there'll be a traceable for that for you guys. You can print out the thing and trace it on. It'd be easy, be fine. Some of you guys have trouble with getting circles. I don't know what the deal is. All right, so let's take some regular thick paint now, white paint, and let's come on up here. So remember, the snow fell on top. Maybe it dripped down here, and it fell on top here, all lumpy. Dripped here, fell on top here.
Lynn is asking a question.
Sure.
Can you take the regular Matisse paint and thin it with something to get the same fluid effect?
Matisse makes a flow. They actually make a flow, but no, not really. You can kind of. Yes, you can, and it takes a little more work, but I would probably mix it instead of with water with a teeny bit of glazing medium or even a medium.
Yeah.
Any of the mediums, maybe like a
something acrylic to keep the
Yes,
binding.
you can. You absolutely can. You just have to mix it a little bit. It's just not as convenient.
I mean, for $5,
You
pick
can.
up a few too.
Sorry, we're still getting over these colds. If you didn't have it, that's okay. Let's put a little bit of snow on this, like that, and let's do a little bit of snow on the top of these. I think we're in good shape here, you guys. Don't know where I need anything else. Sometimes acrylics dry darker, so sometimes it's helpful to just go over stuff a little bit like that.
Oh, I've heard this too. Wendy's use airbrush medium. I've heard that too.
Oh, airbrush medium. I've never
Yeah.
used that, Wendy, but that's probably an excellent idea.
Andrew's done that too.
Okay, so that's a good idea.
I remember reading that before I joined this merry band of artists.
Yeah, well, you know, there's the thing of it is the art store. There is some stuff in there. I mean, you go in the art store and it's practically overwhelming, and you need like hours, don't you, to just kind of look around and see what's up, right?
You need to make a day of it.
You need a day of it. We got a little bit too many holes in this one. Let's patch the roof a little bit here. This is almost too much here. Ginger got carried away with all the holes, but I wasn't worried too much about it because I knew we could.
Sue Clark said we had a
up.
snow globe in 2014 that she did, but she can't remember what it is.
I think it was a snowman, wasn't it?
Man, now you're really testing the brains.
I don't know.
With hundreds of lessons later, I'm lucky to remember what you did last week.
All right, what do you think of this, you guys? Do you like it?
I like that.
I think this is a little dark area right here that we kind of need to pay attention to. There, something like that. This could almost stand another tree. I've got a little more here. I think I'll put another tree over here because in this picture here, see, I didn't have as much of this showing, so I think this needs another little pine tree over here. What do you think? Yeah, probably.
Well, I think you can do whatever you want, Ginger.
That's true. I can. I'm king of this picture. I pronounce myself king. You like it? So here, we'll just put a little more. There, so I'm not talking about that little space right there. Let's put another one right here, too. A little shorter one. Just say something's there. That almost looks like a chimney. Let's not
Chris
do
would
that.
like to know, have you ever used different shades of blue for the snow other than ultramarine blue and phthalo?
Well, no, because those are the only colors I use. Now, did you watch my Adventures in Blue? Nobody watches this, and this is, I'm telling you, this is a big deal, this information. It's Adventures in Blue, Adventures in Yellow, and Adventures in Red, right? And Adventures in Blue is every color Matisse makes and what it does.
In blue.
In blue. Every blue color that they make, and we test it. And then we see what you can make with ultramarine blue and phthalo blue, and if you would possibly want to buy these others. And I do like Southern Ocean Blue, which is sort of it's phthalo blue and there. Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, Southern Ocean blue, unless you're going to do a big painting and want consistency.
Yeah. That
Makes
looks
it.
nice with these little trees back here.
Yeah, I like
doesn't
that
it?
better.
Yeah,
Can you
just
fix the
put
first
the
one?
mountains. This really reminds me of Colorado or
Wyoming.
or something like that, doesn't it? And so this is our picture. I kind of like it better than this one. Here's this one, and I'm going to show you.
Oh,
here.
I like the second one better.
I like it better. Well, if you do something the second time, you can see how it's a little easier to do, right? Second time. And I guess we could have used the toothbrush and had it snow too. That would have been interesting. Should I do it?
Well, sure, why not?
All right, you want to do it?
As far
Should
as
we
I'm
do it?
concerned, you still have 10 minutes, and then I'm cutting you off.
Okay, so I'm going to do that. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of that flow
Now,
stuff,
wait,
right?
that's the flow, right?
That's the flow stuff, and then you wet the toothbrush, damp it on, right? And I'm just going to come up like this because I don't know that I want it everywhere, right? Barely touch this toothbrush.
You want it in the sky.
I want it in the sky. Barely touch it. And just give it a fine airbrush kind of look. This is the poor man's airbrush. Like it? Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Huh?
It's another stroke of brilliance.
I mean, that's just sort of softened that sky a bit. Look at the difference between the skies now, see?
Yeah,
Just
I like
sort
that
of,
better.
Just sort of gave it a little bit of life,
Yep.
like that. I don't know if you can still find toothbrushes, but, it's a drugstore, I think. But anyway, there we go. Oh, I like that a lot. Isn't that pretty? Now, I think, here's what I want you to do. I think you should do this painting and save it. Make sure you have a picture of it. And the next time you move, print this out on a postcard and say, we moved. Here's our new address.
Tammy would like to know, quick question, my sky isn't gray enough, too blue. What do I add to make it grayer?
Raw umber or burnt umber. Or Payne's Gray, if you had it,
Payne's Gray.
would work too.
And Payne's Gray is black
And ultramarine blue.
There you
I
go.
just did this without black, but you certainly could use Payne's Gray and do it too.
Okay, guys. This is all this old man's going to be able to stay with you.
We thank you
And if
so
I
much.
go, she goes.
We thank you very much. Happy holidays for everybody. We love you guys very much. Want to shout out to all our friends. We think of you as family. We appreciate you very much, and so glad everybody's doing well. And John's going to be doing better soon.
Ginger, they want to know, do you realize that the roof has the word ho?
I didn't. It does. Ho, 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 right?
Yep.
Wow, it does. Look at that. Well, there's a Freudian slip.
Why? It's a Christmas spirit.
It's this Christmas spirit, right?
It's fine.
All right. I won't change it. You
No.
guys can fix yours.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
You guys can certainly fix yours. I mean, I kind of like it. And again, I'll put this up on my
Pinterest.
well, it'll go on the Pinterest board, and then I will go up to paint my photo tonight, and I will get that up there in the gallery so you can see the actual, because I can't show you. Well, I could if I was willing to spend 3 weeks and write the photographer. I'm sure they wouldn't care, but who has time for these things? I came up with this yesterday afternoon, so I don't think plan far enough ahead to be able to do that. So
we all have dreams.
we all have, what's the way it is. So I will do that. I'll paint my photo. It'll be in the Ginger Cook gallery, and you'll be able to see the actual photo. If some of you feel like you need the photo reference to say, how did she come up with this? Because trust me, I did not make this up.
She had something she looked at.
Had
She
something-
always has something.
Yeah.
She may combine 2 or 3 things to create her own, but you don't go from your memory.
Okay. Happy
Anything
holidays, you guys. And we'll see
Happy
you tomorrow night.
holidays.
Are you singing?
No.
Good. Don't sing, John. Good night.
Good night.
Love you guys.
I'm a student, I say with glee, of Ginger Cook's Academy. Take your time and do not rush. Use ruby satin, silver brush. Don't use black and mix the green. Learn what blend and grayscale mean. Yes, I hope each day to earn coaching praises as I learn. I'll be an artist, wait and see. Ginger means the world to me.